Magazine people, my name's Lonn Friend. I'm the editor of Rip Magazine. This magazine, by consensus, it's the hottest rock and roll magazine in the world. But there's a problem here. Not everybody's getting to buy Rip Magazine. And we bust our cheeks putting this book together every month. So Jim Gustafson, the almighty distribution wizard of LFP Incorporated, appealed to me, the editor of the magazine, to appeal to you to get that book out there, to get it to the outlets, to the retailers, to the wholesalers, to bust some cheeks so the kids can read this magazine. Now, there's a couple things I want to explain to you about this industry, about the rock and roll heavy metal industry. Is it popular, you ask? Let's pull out the new issue of Billboard. This is dated June 25th. This is the Bible of the record business. Now, let's look at the charts here. Can we see that? Can we zoom in on the charts here? You'll notice that 5 of the top 10 records on the charts are hard rock, heavy metal albums. Most impressive on here is the Van Halen album. After 2 weeks on the charts, is #1. It unseated George Michael, I Want Your Sex George, who's been up there since time began, and it's vaulted ahead of the Dirty Dancing soundtrack. Now that was no easy task. We got Def Leppard still with a bullet. This circle means it's active sales for that week. Still hanging at #3 after 45 weeks. Now is that loyalty among fans or what? You'll notice there's a #4 next to the triangle, which means the Def Leppard album has sold 4 million copies. Guns N' Roses is a platinum record, which means it sold 1 million. Still active sales. Guns N' Roses, personal buddies of ours here at Rip Magazine. Scorpions on the July issue, which is currently out on the stands right now. July, the Scorpions. All these records are selling. The kids are very loyal to this genre of music. Therefore, we can imagine that maybe they'll go out and buy the magazines too. They're buying Circus and Hit Parade or wherever they can find it, and they're buying Rip wherever they can find it. But we aren't finding Rip in enough places. Ladies and gentlemen, that's the problem here. This magazine, wherever it competes with the other rock and roll magazines in the metal genre, outsells those magazines. We have loyal readership. I get 500 letters a month from these kids that think we're the best thing since sliced toast. And now the only problem is getting it out there. So I made my point here. Secondly, Rip Magazine is involved in a lot of promotions right now. We're probably the only magazine who's doing as much to promote on other mediums. Let me give you an example. MTV, I've been working with MTV for the past 3 months.
We're gonna have long hair, rock and roll, lots of fun, and
What exactly is it supposed to be, an office back here?
I gotta go. This is the mobile unit of Rip. We go anywhere to carry a story, and this is the biggest story in town tonight. It's Megadeth and Anarchy in L.A.
Yay!
In Rip Magazine!
Read it, Pinhead!
Good stuff back here. Cool. Rip Magazine, did you know that I will now testify? My mother writes for Rip Magazine.
Yeah, I saw my news.
Anybody? Right, Ma Nuge has got all the answers to your most deceptive questions.
TV. They have instituted over the last year a segment of MTV called the Headbangers Ball on Saturday night, devoted entirely to heavy metal music. It's a 3-hour segment. It runs from 9 to midnight on the West Coast, midnight to 3 a.m. on the East Coast. And it's consistently the highest rated time slot on MTV, which means these kids are watching these videos. These are the videos that, for advertising constipation on a lot of companies' parts, they don't get played during mainstream MTV. There's still a stigma around heavy metal music. It's an antiquated stigma, but the satanic attachment it still pervades a lot of the more conservative mentalities out there. And granted, it's probably a reason why we run into brick walls at a lot of conservative chains, grocery chains, and especially in the Midwest and through the Bible Belt, we have a hard time getting into certain areas. But it's not just RIP. It's even the teeny bot magazines have trouble in those areas. They just don't want to touch rock and roll for some reason. But I've proven here, and by the numbers on MTV, that there's a tremendous audience for this, and if we could get the product out there, these kids are going to buy it.
Right here, this is Dave Ellison from Megadeth. We're on the Headbangers Ball, MTV, as it says right here. Don't change your channel, okay? Right back!
MTV is working with us on a variety of promotions right now. As far as just a direct tie-in with the magazine, for the January issue, we're running a contest with the band Anthrax, the Vision Streetwear Company, a huge company whose clothes you see every place, and with Headbangers Ball on MTV. We're running this contest over a 3-month period in the magazine, and then the winner is going to get to go skateboarding with Anthrax at a yet-to-be-determined concert site. And they're going to spend a couple of days with the band, and MTV's going to come and videotape the winner hanging out with the group, and then they're going to show it on TV. So here we are at RIP Magazine on television in front of, 400,000 or 500,000 kids every Saturday night. Free publicity, right? That's just one promotion we're doing. Another is, in September, we're having our 2nd anniversary party, which is going to be tied in with the first ever heavy metal industry trade convention at the Sheraton Universal in Los Angeles, put on by the Concrete Marketing people out of New York. We're tying in with them by running our party the first night of the show on September 3rd, of the convention, September 30th. I'm also on the board of directors of the convention staff. I'm going to be heading up the media panel, the press and media panel, and we're going to have all the big movers in the record business there, and they're probably it'll be quite an event, and MTV is going to be at that too, so we're going to get press coverage on that event. What I'm trying to say here is that the RIP name is going to be splattered everywhere. It's being promoted strongly because we're the newest magazine out there in this area, and we have to get our name out, which is what we're doing. Now, if we're getting our name out there, these kids are going to want to find the magazine. They're just going to see the name RIP. They're going to see the magazine on television. They're going to want to buy it. If it's not available in towns, just imagine the frustration. And we get those letters. I ran this page in the magazine for 3 months. It says, "Get gnarly. If you're having trouble finding RIP in your hometown, we want to know about it. We want you to call our Vice President of Client Relations, Vince Del Monte, personally." Here's Vince. He's a handsome fella. "Tell him, Vinny, we can't find RIP and it's pissing us off." Now, we've been getting phone calls. In fact, just yesterday, I got CC'd on letters sent out by FDC from Vince Del Monte to a number of wholesalers following up on the phone calls from the kids, because the kids couldn't find the magazine in Atlantic, Iowa. They couldn't find the magazine in Myerdale, Pennsylvania. They couldn't find the magazine in Stoughton, Massachusetts. They couldn't find the magazine in Ingram, Texas. They couldn't find the magazine in Alvarado, Texas. They couldn't find the magazine in small towns north of San Francisco. So that's telling me something. That's telling me that these kids have seen the magazine somewhere and want to buy it, but they're having trouble finding it. So whose fault is that? It's your fault. That's right. You're not getting it out there. And ladies and gentlemen, distribution people, you guys are great people. I mean, I love you personally, each and every one of you. But when you're doing as hard a job as we're doing to put together this magazine, and you're going to see a little footage later on in this tape from certain industry people, I mean heavyweight people, that are going to tell you that this magazine is the best metal magazine out there. And if I had the artists here in my office, they would tell you the same thing. everyone who picks up this book for the first time, we've got as a reader. It's just pure and simple. When you buy, if you buy Rip once, you're going to buy it for good. Now, let me change to another subject. We're branching off. We're not just doing Rip now. We're putting together specials. This is our first special called Rip Magazine Presents Metallica. It's going to be out July 15th. January '88, we ran our Metallica issue. This issue. This was the biggest selling issue of the year so far. And this led us to believe that this band is a hot band with our readers. So we decided to use Metallica as the first special. And I mean, I'm being modest here. We put together the best magazine on this group ever. I've sent this to the band. I sat with the band when they looked at this magazine. I sent it to the management, to the Electra Records, their record label. They all think this is the coolest thing they've ever seen on this group. They love it. The kids are going to go nuts because this band has the most intense following. They have very little radio airplay, but they've sold 1 million units their last 2 records, which says that, you know, that kind of marketing, radio marketing, is not necessarily important to getting a band a 1 million sale record. They have a huge following. They buy the magazines. This magazine is going to kick butt out on the newsstand. If it gets out there, and it should stay out there, there's no cover date. This book should stay out for a couple of months. I don't see any reason why we shouldn't do 70% on the stands with this magazine if you get it out there to the areas where the Rip readers are. Because every single Rip reader is going to buy this, and every Metallica fan, and there's millions of them, are going to buy the magazine. So I'm appealing to you guys. Now, let's go off. We're going to look around. You know, it'll be a little fun footage here and there. But I just wanted to start this off by saying that we're putting together a great book here. We know who the kids are. We know they're out there. And we're giving them what they want. And now you just have to get the product out to them. Okay? So let's tour. Ah! This is Irene Gradstein, subscription mogul of LFP Incorporated and a personal fan of Rip magazines. Tell them how much you love Rip magazine.
It's the best music magazine in the world.
And how are the subscriptions doing right now?
We have tripled in the last 4 months.
There you go. The buzz is on for Rip magazine, and we're working on some promotions, the MTV promotion.
We're in the process of negotiating to do a commercial with MTV.
That's all we could say right now, but it's going to be big-time stuff. Big-time stuff. This is Vince Del Monte, our Vice President of Client Relations. Remember I showed you his picture in the magazine?
You mean Uncle Vinny?
Uncle Vinny. Vinny, tell us now how out there are some kids not getting the magazine.
There are some.
And we're doing something about it.
The magazine, and we recognize that fact. I've received quite a few calls from these youngsters, and we're trying to correct that situation by calling and also following up with a letter to our distributors in the cities where they can't be found. But you got to recognize also that it's a big country, and there are a lot of small towns, and not too many dealers will carry it, but we'll see that they do get the magazine and that it is on display for sale. I think we got a real winner with Rip, as you know.
You see, everybody's behind the magazine, even Uncle Vinny. Oh, thanks, Vince.
Thank you.
And now we will move out this way. This is the, we're heading towards my advertising department here, the Rip advertising department. Now that's where things are really happening, and I'll let my ad director, Ron Rossi, tell you exactly what's happening. Excuse me.
Perfect.
Coming through here.
Okay.
Mr. Rossi here? No. Oh, to show you how hard at work everybody is, let's get a shot of my assistant, Christina, sleeping on the job. I mean, she's gone. Dear, you have to understand that Christina was at an AC/DC concert last night. I guess she was out a little bit too late. I can't believe this. Perfectly serious, though. We are doing such advertising numbers right now. All the major labels have come out supporting the magazine with ad dollars. I had 29 paid pages of ad in the last issue of RIP, and the one we just closed, October, which was the highest ever, and we're doing upwards of $40,000 to $50,000 a month in ad revenues. So, hey, the people out there who are making the music believe in us. Now it's time for you guys to believe in us, right? This is Renee, a huge fan.
Hello.
A huge fan. Don't look at the Cyndi Lauper on her chest. Don't look at her chest either.
Don't look at the
She's
chest.
a major fan of the magazine. Tell her what you like your RIP.
I love RIP. I think RIP's the best rock magazine around.
And she's a rocker.
Darn right.
Thank you, Renee. See if the president of the company, Jim Coles, is in. Come right this way. Hi, Liz. Oh, there he is. He's on the telephone. You're on tape here. This is Tom Candy, our vice president. Let's get a couple words from Tom Candy on the popularity of RIP magazine.
Mm-hmm. What did Stoyer say? I mean, what do they want to do?
Do you love RIP magazine?
Yes.
This is the brain trust of the company. If they support the magazine, which means we have the dollars, the production dollars behind the magazine, which means that you guys are getting the product that you can sell to these people, right?
Yes.
Thank you, Tom. Hope you enjoyed that little jaunt around the company. This is where we do the business. We're going out into the street now and talk to the people who really, their opinion really matters. Hey, how's it going? I'm standing in front of Ricky and Tammy's world-famous cat house with the proprietor, Mr. Ricky Rackman, the #1 rock and roll club in Southern California, perhaps the world.
For the world.
Ricky's gonna tell you people what he thinks of RIP magazine.
I like RIP magazine. What was the magazine called again? RIP magazine? Oh, RIP magazine. Yeah, I like it.
Be honest now, you know, I'm
honestly,
not twisting your
I think
arm.
it's something that, it's representing the rock and roll scene, and it's, I like the articles. It seems like it's written by rockers as opposed to just some journalist that's writing something about hard rock or something that they know nothing about. You read the articles, and it's like a rocker writing about rockers. And it also has some other stuff in it, like stuff about skateboarding or just a lot of interesting stuff.
Do the 1,000 people on a given Tuesday night that come here to the cat house, are they RIP fans?
Definitely. RIP magazine. Right. RIP magazine is I think kind of the same thing that the cat house is. It's about rock and roll, and it's just a lot of fun. And
Hey, this is Christina from RIP Magazine. I'm in the parking lot of the world-famous Rainbow interviewing hairballs and their luscious ladies. We're going to be interviewing people who are totally in our audience. Thanks. Joe, great friend of mine. He knows about RIP. What do you think about it, Hen?
It's a pretty cool magazine. I read it all the time.
Do you?
I'm from Texas, and they even get it down there in Texas. Hi, how's it going?
What's your name?
Sean.
Sean? Are you in a band?
Yeah, I'm in a band called Skid Row.
All right, that's great. You like RIP Magazine?
Yeah, it's good. Good stuff.
Great. What's your favorite part about it?
It's good. It interviews the local bands, and it gives a broad viewing of everything over the U.S. about all the California shit that's happening. And it's a good magazine all the way around.
You want to ever be in it?
Yeah, we're going to be in it real soon.
Great. Thank you. I appreciate it. Okay, how about you?
Jennifer.
Okay, Jennifer. What are you doing out here?
I'm bored. I just came out to go to some clubs.
You ever see RIP Magazine?
Yeah.
You like it?
Yeah, it's a really good magazine.
All
I read it
right.
a lot.
That's great. Thanks.
Thanks.
I'd like to introduce you to Mike, who's the manager of the Rainbow. He knows us.
Hey, how are you? Good to see you, Chris.
Thanks, babe.
Always a pleasure.
Great.
You know, that RIP magazine's getting world famous,
I know.
especially at the Rainbow Bar and Grill.
Yeah, it is.
And so all the rockers, everywhere I look, they're reading RIP magazine.
And they got the shirts on.
Oh, they
the
have
pins.
everything.
They
That's
love
RIP is getting better than LA Weekly lately.
Yeah, it is.
It's
great.
incredible.
You have
Listen,
somebody else?
Yeah, I got Mike Dillon here from Chicago. Mike, come on down.
Yep.
Say hello. Ida?
How you doing, Mike?
Hi, how are you?
What you got? You got the RIP.
I got your RIP.
Yeah. That's RIP right there.
My favorite magazine. I read it every month while I'm in Chicago.
I like to sing this guy.
Hey, how's it going again? We're here in the backyard of my Marina Del Rey house in Southern California. I'm here with a very good friend of mine, Janie Hoffman from MCA Records.
Hi.
Her official title is National Media Director for MC.
National Director of Media and Artist Relations.
For MCA Records. MCA Records is the biggest company in the world. They're big. They own Universal Studios. They own Steven Spielberg. They own everything.
They own me too.
And they got some major acts, and they're a good advertiser with Rip Magazine, and Janie is a hell of a publicist, and she's going to tell you why she puts her dollars in Rip Magazine.
You got it, Lon. I'll be more than happy to. Hi. Okay, give me this. No, okay. Just
You want the mic?
No, I don't want the mic.
Be sincere. These are the people.
I'm going to try to be serious, okay, because this is very serious. And basically, Rip Magazine is what we think the best rock and roll magazine out there. They expose new groups. They help us with new bands that they feel are worthy. They expose the established bands. They expose the superstar bands. And it's all in the same magazine. And that really helps a record company, especially when they're trying to break a new act. They also have the best printing. And this is no lie. This is the only man I trust with original color slides. The only man. That's right. Because they do, well, it's true, because they do the best work. And when it comes down to breaking a new band and we have a choice of putting one ad in one consumer magazine, this is who gets it.
And tell you something, her support and her label support with the advertising dollars has enabled us to keep pushing until we get the kind of distribution out there that we deserve, right?
And you deserve a lot of distribution. Yes, you do.
That's right.
And I'm cutting you off again.
No, go ahead.
Okay? Just so you guys know, I started off in this business as the circulation manager for Billboard magazine. So I know what a job you guys have ahead of you, and I'm just trying to tell you that it's not that hard because you got a great product to work with. Was that good?
That was great.
Oh, thank you.
Let's tell them one other thing, that we're working on a promotion with MTV right now.
Yes, we are.
You want to tell them a little something about it?
Oh, my. Really?
Yeah.
Can we tell them already?
It's private. You could tell them something.
Well, okay. We're working on a promotion with MTV Headbangers Ball, where we're going to release an album, and basically the premise is that it's going to be the hottest metal/hard rock music that's been put out over the years, and the contest winner is going to win an executive producer slot on the album. And it's going to be tied in with you guys.
With us.
And us guys, because we're going to release the album.
Right.
And MTV Headbangers Ball, which is the perfect place for all of us to be.
That's right. It's Rip's name in another medium, which is what we're trying to do. TV, now we're on vinyl. It's going to be on CD, this record.
Cassette.
And it may take a few months to put together, but, you know.
Like next year, guys. Don't kid yourself. Okay.
But it's a big deal because our name's going to be on a record album, and it just gives us more legitimacy in the industry.
Yes, it does.
And it's people like this lady right here.
And this guy right
here. They're going to make us the #1 magazine. Now, am I proving something or what?
Yeah, you're proving something. You got me a free dinner in the back of your Jeep.
Hey, we'll see you in a little bit.
Bye.
Okay. We've seen some testimonials. I've told you what we're doing. I've shown you the magazine. Lord knows you have the product sitting in front of you. Now I'm appealing to you. Get out there, bust your butts, and get Rip Magazine into every store where a 14 to 20-year-old kid can buy it. And if you do that, I guarantee you it's going to outsell Circus and Hit Parader and Cream and Faces and every other rag that's out there. Because, look, we're doing the best job we can. Our fans are loyal, and we just got to get the product to the kids. All right? That's all. Now get out there. Do your job, Gus. Thanks for listening to me ramble. Right, Toby? Later.
Thanks to Rip Magazine, America's only heavy metal magazine. Thanks to all the great people that we talked with tonight, Guns N' Roses, people from Ozzy, Billy Sheehan, and Bon Jovi. That was my favorite part of the evening. Jimmy Bain from Dio. And believe it or not, I met Bon Jovi tonight. And it's Los Angeles.
It's still hard. It's rock hard.
Yo!
Hey, the last thing you gotta remember is what RIP stands for. It's two meanings. Rockers instead of posers. Pinhead.
Your time. Yum, yum.